You've also been calling for the creation of a state called ISRATINE, which really would be a one-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian problem. This is an issue that hasn't been called for by the Palestinian Authority, by the Arabs, the Europeans, or the United States. Everyone is talking about a two-state solution. Do you really think that the Palestinians need to review their strategy and work toward a one-state solution?
Those who talk about a two-state solution do not know the demographics of the region. They do not know that the establishment of a so-called Palestinian state will mean Israel will have a depth of 14 kilometers. The Israelis will not accept this. It is not possible to have two states. They do not know how interconnected they are. Neither is it possible to separate the two states. They are intertwined. There are 1 million Palestinians living in the 1948 territories in so-called Israel. There are 500,000 Israelis living in the West Bank. Gaza is isolated. How can you say two states? They are integrated and torn up. They constitute one state now. They should ensure the return of the Palestinians who were expelled. Weapons of mass destruction should be abandoned. The problem will end there. Another reason is that many parties want to get rid of this problem in any possible way, in order to say that this problem is over. Once, the president of a European country said that we do not think like you about the future of our sons and grandsons, nor the future of Palestine. We want a solution right now that will end this headache. If they want to fight each other in 40 or 50 years, let them do whatever they want. We want a quick solution now. I do not want to deceive people or endorse such a futile solution. I want to think about a radical solution that will protect both the Palestinians and the Israelis and convince them to accept each other and live in a democratic state.
But is it a realistic solution, though? The President of the United States has been calling for two states living side by side. In fact, this time President Obama went even further than his predecessor by calling on Arab states to recognize Israel as a Jewish state, which would have major implications on the right of return for Palestinian refugees and possibly the likely expulsion of 20% of Israel's Arab population. Do you think that President Obama is really serious about bringing peace to the Middle East between these two countries?
All these considerations clarify my previous answer. I do not think that President Obama is fully aware of this problem. It was not part of his concerns. He was a senator and was concerned about the state he represents, the US people and internal matters. Thus, he does not know everything about this cause. He might be able to understand it in the future. As I said earlier, it is totally impossible to have two states.
But Obama does enjoy a lot of goodwill from the international community. You were also praising him during your General Assembly speech. Do you think that he is able to and willing to put enough pressure on the Israeli side to bring about that kind of long-lasting peace between the two?
No one can exert pressure on the Israelis. They are the ones who can put pressure on the USA and not the contrary.
What about the Arab countries? Shouldn't they be doing more?
The Arabs know that what they're doing now is not the right thing to do. When they sit alone, they admit it. However, they are riding this wave, calling for the Palestinians' rights to have their own state. This is not easy. First of all, there is the Dimona nuclear reactor and Israel's ownership of weapons of mass destruction. No one raised this issue. This is extremely dangerous. How can the Arabs and even the Muslims recognize the so-called Israel while it owns a nuclear arsenal? This is impossible, unless they also enjoy the right of having their own nuclear arsenal. There is also the refugees problem. There are 4 million Palestinians who should return. This is the basis of the problem.
هذا هو أساس